Nina Lua asks, can you do a TLDR on your favorite animes?
AKA, this topic is not for me. See you later.
But yes, I can. Well, aren't you lucky that I happen to have something here. It's a book with all the lists of the animes and mangas and other things like that I want to share with you guys about this topic. And let me just calm myself and start from the beginning. We've had a lot of questions actually regarding Korean anime and Korean manhwa, which is not to be mistaken with manga, which is Japanese one. Now, some people are surprised to find out when they come to Korea that there isn't actually a big selection of Korean manhwa or like Korean animes to buy or to watch. There used to be like a lot of bookstores, like Susie was telling me back in her day when Susie was a youngster in high school. She used to actually see people like reading like manhwas and stuff, but eventually it just kind of died out. If you hit a bookstore in Korea, you're actually going to see a lot of Japanese mangas available. So like Kyobo Books, you'll see an entire section with like saran wrapped Slam Dunk and like Skip Beat and like Bleach and One Piece and Death Note, and like there's tons of that, but I really rarely see anything Korean. When it comes to animes, it's kind of the sad same truth. There aren't really any Korean animes out there. Wait, let me think if that's actually true. Susie? Headphones on. Pororo? Pororo does not count as an anime. He's a penguin, and it's usually like 3D animation now. It's not even like anime. It's not like Moon Crystal Power with big eyes. He's like, I'm a penguin. My name is Pororo. Anything else?
Ooh, Kimchi Warrior.
All right, conversation over. So since there aren't a lot of like manhwas and stuff, what is happening in Korea is this thing called like a webtoon. It really looks like a normal like manga series. It's like really beautifully done, but they upload it online to the site, and it's kind of like every week or every day you get an update. So there's one that I started reading called like Noblesse. It's about a vampire, of course, and this vampire wakes up in like a modern Seoul, and then he has to like enroll in school and like go to this high school, and like the high school principal ends up being like part of his vampire crew who take care of him. He's like vampire royalty. I really did not realize this was a web series. It is so well drawn. You would think that this is like a scanning from a manga. I think web series are popular here because people are really into their mobile devices. If you're commuting somewhere, you'll see a lot of people on their phones, and they're like either reading things or watching TV shows, or they're playing those like online internet games. Like I think Maple Story was really, really huge here, and perhaps it still is huge here. So sometimes animes get turned into like online games that you can actually play on your phone. And other times I heard those games get turned into animes, but there just isn't really a huge like constant anime department happening here, kind of like in Japan, where you have like a new anime coming out. For example, Attack on Titan, which is like taking the whole Japan by storm, and Korea as well, might add. All right, enough backstory and history. On to my anime and manga list. Don't you click out of that video. I see you trying to click away from this video. You listen. Hey, don't think that comics are nerdy or for children. Hey, you stay here and you listen to my recommendations, and then you're gonna read the comment section and you're gonna find other people's recommendations, and then soon you will be converted. Okay, and you will not ashamedly secretly read your mangas in hopes that no one sees you. You will read them and get t-shirts with pictures on it. I'm gonna begin with some of my favorite Korean manhwas. One of my favorite ones was Bride of the Water God, and I was absolutely blown away. It's insane. Like every page is so elaborate, and it has like a combination of like elaborate dresses and gears and like all this like old school kind of drawings. It's a great series. It's pretty long too, so prepare yourself. These manhwa series get made into live action dramas. Full House, if you can believe it. I actually did not read it, nor did I see the drama, which I should have. I know it's like epic, but that was actually based off of a Korean manhwa. Now you've learned something. This is my learning rainbow sign. Hanakimi is one of my all-time favorites. I actually read the manga before I watched the TV show, and I prefer the Japanese one over the Korean one. I didn't like the acting in the Korean one. I said it. I did not even believe that Sully was a boy. She totally looks like clearly a girl with a short haircut. I thought the Japanese version was so much better. But if you want like an unbiased one involving characters, just read the actual manga. It's awesome. Hanayori Dango, also known as Boys Over Flowers or Boys Before Flowers, which I'm sure a lot of you saw Lee Min-ho make his debut as the curly-haired bully. I read the manga first, and it was awesome. It's like a huge series. I mean, the animation style is kind of interesting because the clothing they're wearing is really part of the generation that the actual person animated it in. So when you're reading it, kind of like this clothing is really cheesy. And there's so much turtlenecks. What's with the turtle? Is it just easy for someone to draw? They're like, well, can I put this person in today? They're like, we'll just put them in a turtleneck. Okay, turtlenecks need to stop. So that was also made into an anime, which I preferred the manga still, and it was also made into a million live action ones. I love the Japanese one. I also love the Korean one. I cannot make a choice between the two of them. Gokusen is another one that I really loved. Great, totally great as a manga, and awesome live action one. I don't even know which one I can pick that I like more because it was so well done. Even the theme song, I say, feel your breeze. But even Simon liked it. He watched it with me and he totally loved the series. Speaking of series that Simon loves, he also really likes Ouran Host Club, which let us never speak of the remake that occurred. There was no live action version of Ouran Host Club. What are you talking about?
Didn't exist.
And it was a great anime. It was awesome and we love it, and they should really think of making like a live action drama version. Maybe they could cast the boys from Boyfriend since they're twins, and it would be the first of its kind, right guys? Right? And of course, I have to mention Sailor Moon, which started out as a manga and became an anime and then also became a live action, which is totally insane if you haven't seen it. It is hilarious, okay? I loved the live action. I didn't consider it good, like if I watched a Korean drama and I was like, this is amazing. But I mean, it was just really great to see them come to life. It was just really like over the top costumes and kind of cheesy, and the way it looked really creepy. But that's kind of the whole charm of the show, is that it just looked really fake. It's like they didn't even try to make it look realistic. It was awesome. And of course, the manga and anime is amazing. And for those of you that don't know, Sailor Moon just made her comeback. They're back. I spent my childhood reading Sailor Moon, and when the anime series was canceled, I kept it going by reading like manga that my friend brought back to me from Tokyo. I couldn't even read it. The internet came along and started translating and subbing for people, and I read the entire series. Anyway, Sailor Moon Crystal has just started. Episode 1 came out. I didn't watch it yet because if I watch it, I'll need to see the next episode right away, and then I'll be sad and empty with my life. So I'm gonna wait until like a couple more episodes come out. I already know it's gonna be awesome. I don't care what any of y'all say. I'm already happy about this episode and give it 100 out of 100. Oh my god, you're so Sailor Moon biased. It's true. Other favorite animes, I'm gonna say Cowboy Bebop. Simon also started watching with me way back when we started dating.
Back in the day.
And he actually really liked that as well. Kind of got bored of it after a while, and I was slightly offended about that. It has one of the best intro theme songs ever. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. But Simon did really like Avatar, so we ripped through that entire series. So good. Cried at the beginning of Legend of Korra because it actually talks about the last seasons of Avatar, and I got so attached to the characters. Currently, we're watching Attack on Titan, and we are a little bit frustrated with the main character, who is totally incompetent. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but he's just always like, I can do it. I can do my best. I'm gonna do this. And then he just gets like slapped around. It's very frustrating. And I know that's how they made the character, but there are 2 other people in the show that are way cooler, who should be doing so much better. But Attack on Titan is very, very big in Japan right now. And in Korea, Attack on Titan is quite big too. Okay, before I finish off this TLDR, I have a question for you guys. You have to tell me if you know the name of it, because it's gonna make me crazy. Involves a household with a bunch of very old vampires. All of them turn into different things like insects or spiders. And it's really creepy that they turn into spiders, but this girl was in an accident. I think she was in a bike accident, and then she woke up in the hospital like covered in spiders or something, and then she's turned into like a vampire, but the vampires actually have to like kill her in order to continue on, but they can't because they develop feelings for her. And it's like one girl living in a house with a bunch of other vampires, and she can't go back to visit, and I can't remember it whatsoever. Help me guys, help me! I'm gonna talk a little bit more about my favorite mangas. I'm gonna save it for the blog post though, because I have so many that I want to talk about, like Fairy Tail and Black Butler, Vampire Knight, and Blackbird, and My President is a Maid. A lot of them involve strange breast physics, but you know what? That's part of it. It's fun culture to be a part of, right? So my question for you this week is, do you like any of the animes or mangas or like manhwas that I was talking about? If you like them, let me know, and if you don't like them, let me know as well. And if you can recommend any to me, please let me know in the comment section below. If you don't like these whatsoever and you think that it's weird, let us know why, and then we will all attack you and tell you you're wrong. Just joking. Last week's TLDR, not last week, because we had a special thing happening with Jen from Head to Toe. We told you about our experience of going back to California, and we talked about some of the weird culture shock things we've had, and here are some awesome comments that you guys had to say about it. Carolyn from our website, who said she's from Oregon, but then she moved, Oregon? From Oregon originally, moved to Norway, and she said she noticed a total difference when it comes to small talk. In fact, she said she can remember the amount of times anyone's ever talked to her outside of her normal like circle. She said 0. If you compliment someone in Norway, they're kind of like, why are you talking to me? That's weird. Amanda said that she studied abroad in Europe, and then when she came back home, she arrived at the Chicago airport and was totally shell-shocked to remember that people actually small talk with her, like standing in line waiting for stuff. And she said she should know that because she's American, but living in Europe, people don't really chit-chat as much as they do in America, and it just really caught her off guard as well. It's not just us, guys. And more Mander on YouTube said that Northern California cops are apparently nicer than Southern Californian cops. And apparently, where are my glasses? California biomes are quite different. Some places can be dry and hot, and other places can be quite humid, and some places are very polluted, and some are quite nice. nice. And then there was a lovely thread that unfolded with people agreeing with the whole comment. Well, haven't you been learning properly in school? Martina gives you 1 thumb up, and then 2 thumbs up, and then transforms into a dragon and flies away because she was always a dragon the whole time. Whoa! Bam, 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 do 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 do. Bam, bam.